just because you've done a particular job and you've done that job very, very well for a number of years doesn't make you a coach.
No.
So coaching isn't about telling. It's about helping people think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a mentor would more be like,
you need to do this.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. That makes sense, actually. Right. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Chatzzz. We've had another hiatus, and we're back with a vengeance. We have probably...
I've never been called a vengeance before, Adam.
You're probably the second most recurring guest ever, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
That's number 3, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Henry's been on 4 times, a friend of Marbella. Then Vanessa, she's been on 3 times well, and you're
right.
Second. Yeah. So
privileged.
No, I'm privileged that you come back on every time.
Privileged, but we have absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about. And that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. No, I think, do you reckon the last time we spoke or caught up was when I went to yours and did the podcast there? Was it?
You did?
When was
Stick you
that?
some lunch.
Yeah, that was a very nice sandwich. Yeah. That was probably March time?
Oh, I completely and utterly lose track.
Something like that.
To be fair.
But yeah, a long time ago, wasn't it? We were briefly catching up before we started the podcast, and you were telling me about your workshops and your training and that kind of things, kind of snowballing.
How things are evolving. Yeah,
because I think, had you just done the training yourself and you hadn't really...
I think I probably had. So kind of two strands to what I do. So there's the hospitality consultancy, which is one thing. And then there's business coaching, which is a sort of an umbrella, which goes over my psychological profiling, psychometric profiling, which I'm now qualified to do. And that's actually started to become a driver within the business. And it was sort of first slowly catch a monkey. And I thought, okay, well, getting myself qualified to do this profiling would just be another string to my bow, and actually it's the reason that people are engaging my services now.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's been really quite interesting to see where that business is coming from, because we talked just before we started here about the amount of effort that collaboratively we put into LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And all credit to you, Adam, that my engagement on that platform has absolutely skyrocketed. I think we're up to, in the last 365 days, it's 140,000 impressions, which from a standing start is good. It's just remarkable.
Yeah. I think it's mainly down to you, though, for the consistency, really, because the one thing is me saying, I should do this, but as you maintain the consistency, I think that's something to keep
it's like anything. You've got to, if you pick the button up, you've got to run with it.
Yeah, true.
Instead of chucking it on to somebody else. And what I couldn't do, and certainly, when you're a one-man band, you have to get your personality and your character across, particularly on social platforms. And therefore, it's important that I do it. And they're my ideas and things that I'm interested in, rather than subcontracting it out to, I work with a girl who does my website for me. And initially, she used to do bits and bobs for me on Insta and Facebook, and it's fine, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And so that's all come onto my lap now, which is fine. But we were talking earlier about the amount of effort that you put into those things against the reward that comes out, and there's a balance. There is a balance to be made. The vast majority of my work is coming now from recommendation, word of mouth, or existing previous clients.
That's the most. Even though, say, we do social media, that's the most powerful form of marketing, word of mouth, 100%. Because like if I was to recommend someone to you, or you recommend someone to me, then I would trust that more than seeing like a video on Facebook or whatever and that kind of thing.
Well, I don't know if you've picked up, Adam, and I don't know. I'm not expecting you to follow me on LinkedIn or whatever. I'm really not. But none of my posts are about selling my services.
Yeah.
It's about people trying to understand me and my mindset, and if they like me and like what I'm saying and doing, then to visit my website and then get interested in me as a resource, that's a spin-off.
Yeah. But I think, like, especially in a personal, and I was similar. I was looking at my own personal LinkedIn ages ago, and I don't post anywhere near as much as you. I'm a bit of a hypocrite in that sense of, like I say, you need to post on social media.
That was the word I was thinking of.
Yeah. And I was looking and I was thinking, I don't sell enough. I think for me, ideally, I would like to put a post out every 3 or 4 weeks, just one post, and just say results, or say this is what we can do.
But define selling to me, Adam.
Salesy post, I'd say, being like, this is what we do and this is what we've like got results for. Just because, say, mine at the moment is just like, I ran a half marathon, I've been sober, blah 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 blah, which is great. Yeah. And that's like show my personality across what you can relate to me on.
But it's selling you.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, because people be like, does he just run marathons, or does he just not drink? What does he actually do?
It doesn't drink and he runs marathons. That's it.
That's all I do. So even just like, oh yeah, I do social media. If you need any help, let me know. Something like that. Just to, with all the engagement that I get, to be like, all right, this is what we do. If you think we would get on, then you can contact me and that kind of thing. I think that's what I probably need to do more. But yeah, it's
to me
a balance.
And do you know what? I'm qualified to do a profiling tool called Leading Energy Profile, and it identifies your cognitive bias. So once you understand why you think, how you think, and why you think that particular way, you can consciously address that to your own benefit when you're dealing with other people, because you can recognize how other people, how their thought processes are put together. And so therefore you can adapt, what you do and what you say. And I've been through 4 different profiling tools. You may have heard of Insights, where you get a colour, you're red, yellow, green or blue.
I think we briefly touched on it last time, yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Equally one called Strength Score, and then I did one called Talent Q, and then Leading Energy Profile. And the thing is with Leading Energy Profile, it doesn't give you a badge to behave in a particular way. It tells you how you think, and then asks you the question, well, so what are you going to do? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
And if you're not, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other tools say, hey, Adam, you're red. You're Mr. Angry. And therefore,
red for
that's how, I don't know what colour you will be, but all these tools have told me similar things about my makeup. And so therefore I have to believe it. And I recognise those things within myself anyway. So I know it's right. And there were a couple of things in there that I suppose at first I was maybe a little bit reluctant to accept. I was reluctant to accept it because I knew it was right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that comfortable with it.
I think I'd be like that too, to be so.
I'm not good with criticism when I believe that I've worked hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I am either.
I don't take that well, and I fester on it. And I have to work on that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm actually quite innovative at sales, but I'm not a good salesperson. Does that make sense?
No, I understand that definitely, yeah.
I hate pushing myself forward. I hate pushing my services forward. I'd be no good. I would never have made a living working on commission. No. Because I can't do the hard sell. So going back to what we were saying about...
Makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
the thing I hate most, genuinely, is like sending the invoice and sending the first contract, because I'm like, oh, it's like, that's like, I'm just sold to you. But then it's like, you obviously want to work with us and we think we can add value to you. And it's one of them, but it's like, I just hate that bit. If I could I don't know, not do that.
And I don't think, Adam, it's not about a lack of confidence in what you do.
Yeah.
It's almost, don't want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I really don't enjoy that. I'm not in this for the limelight at all. But, when people ask you, one of the first questions I ask whenever I start coaching somebody, and there's a difference when people say, I could be a coach. I'll try and do a bit of a Billy Connolly here, because I'm going to go off at a tangent.
Okay.
And then I'll try and I'll cross my fingers to see if I can get it back to where we were. But I get a real bee in my bonnet about the difference between people being a coach and a mentor.
Yeah.
Just because you've done a particular job and you've done that job very, very well for a number of years doesn't make you a coach.
No.
So coaching isn't about telling. It's about helping people think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a mentor would more be like,
you need to do this.
okay. Yeah. Got you. That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
So you're not sitting down and saying, hey, you need to listen to me because I've done 20 odd years in that industry, and so I'm the guru. Yeah. And these are the gaps that I think you're missing. Whereas a coach would help people identify their own gaps, and then help them address how they're going to plug them or how they're going to navigate obstacles.
Okay.
Which is more about personal development. And it's like anything, isn't it? If you get people to think that something is their idea, then there's an immediate level of ownership.
Okay.
Whereas if you tell somebody to do something, sometimes they might resent that.
Yeah, because you're doing this at all kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because like a mentor would be more like autocratic, and then a coach would be more like democratic kind of thing. Yeah, right.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
So as a coach, one of the things I always say is, what's your purpose? So I could say to you, now
What's my purpose?
Yeah, so, CJAJ Media, what's the purpose? What? Tell me truly, and I'll bet you that you can't give me a succinct answer about why you do what you do. And the answer can't be money.
No. Would you say my purpose personally, or literally just in the business, for the business?
You can knit the two because generally they're intertwined.
Yeah.
So, but it has to be about the bigger picture. Is not about Adam Roberts; it's about CJAJ Media.
Right, okay. So I'd say like a personal purpose would be to create a business that self-sustains itself to give me and my future family the life that I want. So being able to live in a nice place, travel the world, give my kids everything that I had growing up and that kind of thing. So then with business, that's the harder one. Definitely is a hard one, yeah. I'd say it's the purpose of the business. So like the long-term purpose of the business. I've never really thought of it like that, but I'd say...
Because, and you won't answer it now, Adam, just because we haven't got long enough. Then it's true, because everybody that I say, well, so why do you do what you do? So I'm not going to give you an example here because this is going to go out online. But there's a company that I work with have been very successful since the 80s. Okay, and I asked the owner of this company, what's it all about? And he couldn't give me a succinct answer. But it doesn't mean his business is broken.
No.
But if you identify exactly why you do what you do, every single decision that you make with respect to that business needs to be channeled to that end game. Without a doubt, whether it's sales, marketing, product, HR, everything needs to be pointing to that purpose.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I've never really thought of it like that. Bit like business-wise. I understand.
Because people will say, well, of course, it's about profit. No.
You don't
the profit, yes, is the lifeblood of your business. It'll die. Your business will die without it, but it's not the purpose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because obviously everybody's in business to make money at the end of the day, aren't they? It's the truth. But it's like, what is the purpose of business? Like, I could say what the purpose of like our services are for businesses, but not actually the purpose of my actual business.
Because you can make it so holistic, Adam, that it's about, what your contribution is to local society. What might you be doing for charity? What might you be adding to the bigger picture? It isn't just about CJAJ. Do you know where I'm coming from? And so therefore, and it is interesting because, I would say to people now, why do I do what I do? Well, it's purely, I want to make a tangible difference with everyone I work with. Full stop. That's it. Because it's not, I'm
I'll just copy yours and I'll say that's exactly what mine is too.
But it's, my mortgage is paid off. The kids are through uni. They're standing on their own 2 feet now. It isn't about the security of a monthly salary. It's about me at the age of 58 loving
What you do.
what I do. And, sometimes I'm flat out and sometimes I'm thinking, where's the next piece of business? Is it just around the corner? But the fact of the matter is, I'm extremely happy doing what I do, and I can see the positive impact that I make when I sit down with people and that light bulb comes off.
Yeah. That's important though, isn't it? I think. Yeah. And I think I'm at a position now where the majority I really love working with.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do provide a lot of value to them. And that's nice to see. Whereas when I first started, we were working with not proper businesses and ones that wouldn't treat you so nice, they wouldn't appreciate what you do and that kind of thing. And
if you can walk away from a piece of work, Adam, with St. JJ, and you say, I know that person would not have achieved what we've achieved without my input.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah, and I can see that in pretty much all clients.
And it isn't about the paycheck.
No, not at all.
It's not.
No, I think like all of our services are really great value for money, not just for like the services, but I feel like the value I personally provide and we provide as a business to them, which is cool. And I love seeing other people flourish more than myself,
Without a doubt.
And I feel like the older I've got, it's like a byproduct. So like the better service and results you provide them, the more you will return. I feel like if people chase money, you may have a bit of a spike, but then you come crashing down and then you're not in it for the long term. Like say I'm only 28, so I'm in it for a long time. You know what I mean? I'm different to you. I need to make as much money as I possibly can to.
Hey, listen, I don't suppose for 1 minute, Adam, I'd have been having this mindset or this conversation 25 years ago.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So
I'm at a different part. I'd only just started the marathon then, talking about your running analogies. Whereas, I'm well and truly kind of over the finish line, getting my competitor's medal.
I wish I was
basking in the self-affirmation.
Yeah, I think it's like you're saying, what do you want to give back to the community? And like only recently, since last year, doing more stuff for charity. It works both ways. Obviously, giving back to them if it's like gifts over Christmas or raising money. I think I've nearly raised like £2,000 for a couple of charities this year myself, which is like really cool for me to do. And I'll do more stuff at the end of the year. And for me, like obviously people say, oh yeah, it makes you look good. But I think hopefully it can inspire other people to do the same thing, because I only originally did it because I saw other business owners doing it, giving stuff away for Christmas, like gifts and stuff, to Cash for Kids, and then seeing people doing marathons and runs for charity, raising money. And I think it's just like a great thing to do, because I've done podcasts with Hospice at Home and Cash for Kids, and I was fortunate growing up that I never had to worry about that kind of thing. And doing having conversations with them, you realise how unfortunate some of the kids are, not even having like toothbrushes, not even like having presents on birthdays and Christmas, and then the hospice doing the great work for like end of life care and stuff like that. And you just think, if I am in a fortunate position where I can donate or raise money and give back, especially to the local community where I've grown up, I think it's a great thing to do. And a lot of people have messaged me saying, oh yeah, I've done something as well, or I've seen that and that kind of thing, which is, I think it's important. Like I wouldn't have thought this 5 years ago. I'd just been like so selfish, focused on myself, being like, I know what I'm doing. I just want to make loads of money and nobody else matters and that kind of thing. But that's one thing that's been important to me, especially this year, to try and give back.
I think the point is, Adam, and you know, I had a little bit of a health scare almost 3 years ago now.
3 years,
almost 3 years ago, and things like this put absolutely everything into complete perspective, because you can have made all the money in the world, can't take it with you.
No, not at all.
You can't take it with you. And so what is it about? What is it? It's about you and your family being provided for, but being incredibly happy in what you do. And the minute, and I would say this to Sarah, and both the boys are working for the police now, and I'd say the same to them. If you get to a point where you're not happy doing what you do, then call it a day and go and do something else.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want these days, can't you? It's not like, say, my dad retired early this year, but he was a chartered accountant all his career in similar, like finance director, whatever. But it's less common these days, isn't it? People can flip between different things and turn around to whatever they want to do. And
do you know, I've become the biggest hypocrite with this because Adam, until I was headhunted to go and front up the Lakes Distillery at Cockermouth, I'd worked for the same company for 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
And that kind of longevity and loyalty just doesn't exist anymore. But equally, it shouldn't. It kind of shouldn't in a senior role. Yeah. And I look at people now and go, you've been there too long.
Yeah.
And you're not, you know. There are so many things that come, so many positives that come with, you know, long service and loyalty and culture, all those things. But equally, people just get on the treadmill and they just become blinkered and they only know one way of doing things. So it's about having, you know, and I do have these conversations with people I'm coaching in terms of saying, well, how do you reinvent yourself? How do you keep yourself fresh and innovative? You know, and it's all very well saying, well, I attend conferences on X and all the rest. But you've actually not been and driven another business in a different environment. And so therefore, you know, and I can be candid now, it doesn't matter. It's not to set people, but right, you've been there too long.
Yeah.
You know, I have this conversation with somebody. You've been with that company now for 10 years. If you don't move, you know, and that's the question. Do you want to be, so this individual I'm talking about will be in his early 30s. I say, do you want to be with this company when you retire? Well, I hadn't really thought. Well, you need to think.
Yeah.
You'd
think now.
You seriously need to think because
like that.
Because you're becoming institutionalized, and you know people will not employ you because you haven't got varied experience. So you know, really and truly, you need to be thinking long and hard about where it is you want to be. You know, if you're saying, well, to be fair, I'd like to be retired at 55. Okay, so what's the journey?
Yeah, map it out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, you're in charge of your own
without a doubt.
But isn't it these days, I'm obviously a bit removed from this, but you should really stay in a job like 2-3 years before you should go somewhere else to get either a higher position or higher paid money. If you stay in the same place, you kind of don't.
Honestly, I don't think there's a time frame on it, but what I have seen, being an old thief, that, you know, your generation, I get mixed up with Generation X and Generation Z and all these now, but the reality is that these...
I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial.
Claudia's a Gen Z. We found this out the other day.
Then?
I don't know. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure. I've been told not to swear on this podcast.
Don't ever do that. So, 60s, was I a baby boomer? I'm not even sure, maybe.
I don't know. I can
baby. But the long and short of it is, you know, I'll say, my boys, as an example, at 24 and 22,
Gen Z, aren't they? Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit different because joining the police force, I think there will be inevitably an element of longevity, but that generation tend to do a couple of years and then they're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And so when you get CVs, historically you used to get a CV and, well, I'd have been there a year. Something wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did you shit?
I remember my mum saying that.
You'd say, well, look at that. They've moved about a bit, right? Okay. And the problem is?
Yeah.
Because there shouldn't be a problem.
No. Because honestly, I remember my mum saying the same thing about one of her friend's daughters or something. Oh, she's had like 7 jobs in 7 years. And like, that's seen as like a bad thing. But I think, it's loads of different experiences in it, different industries. Because I even think of myself, say, when I went to uni, I wanted to do events. I worked for an events company, then worked in the hotel.
Yeah.
And then went back to the events and then do marketing.
So your question there as an interviewer would be, okay, well, cracking, an awful lot of experience over those 7 years. Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
How that's benefited you going...
Oh, it'd be invaluable, won't it? Different kind of people, different kind of industries, job roles, everything. But yeah, I think... Yeah,
people are inevitably employers, the more senior employers are then reluctant to take people on if they think they're only going to get 18 months to 2 years out of them. Well, that's fact.
Yeah, these days, yeah, it's common, isn't it?
So just, deal with it. That's the landscape you're in.
It must be so, like, expensive for businesses to keep on recruiting them, mustn't it?
It's horrendous. But I've done it, you've just seen the thing. And I probably haven't got this word for word, but Richard Branson said, the fear of not training your employees, you should train your employees well enough that they don't want to leave. Because if you don't train them, they'll stay with you forever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, if you live in fear, isn't it, of them leaving and stuff, then what's the point of even getting them in the first place?
Yeah.
I think
I could give you a perfect example of somewhere where an individual that we both know works at Mallory Court now.
Yeah.
The owners would not invest in his development because they knew that a couple of years he'd be gone.
Yeah.
They're so short-sighted.
Yeah. It's bizarre. It's like, why employ them in the first place? What do you expect? Surely you're getting like an asset, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Utilise them for however long you are and then see how it goes. But I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't know.
Oh, it is. And the world has changed, Adam. I look back at a company that we both work for and the values that we held dear, which is not that long ago.
Yeah, no, it's not long ago. 5 years?
Have gone.
Yeah. No, I've seen a few posts. You've changed that, haven't you? Yeah.
Have you read about it? And so let's see my recommendation. There's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
I think I missed that one.
But I
saw you get though.
And so he was a restaurateur. He worked for Danny Meyer in America. And he purchased a restaurant from Danny Meyer called 11 Madison Park in New York. And he developed it. Obviously the food is exceptional, but it became rated the number one restaurant in the world. And it was based on the standard of service that people received. And it wasn't about this stiff, starch-collared approach with the staff. It was about the staff developing meaningful dialogue and meaningful relationships with the customers. Yeah. And doing those things that, other hospitality businesses might deem unreasonable. But unreasonable for good reasons. And I would recommend that book to any business leader because the lessons in there are appropriate to everybody that deals with people, not just hospitality businesses.
I think that's invaluable, though. I'll give 2 examples, but I think with our clients that I have an interest in the client as a person. And I love to understand, like you say, of why they're doing what they're doing and what for. You know what I mean? If it's for the kids, if it's for literally just the money, if it's because they love what they do and that kind of thing. And then you build a relationship and a connection with them around those specific things. And I feel like that builds a better relationship and working partnership and then gets them the better results. Because I feel like if I don't show an invested interest in them, then if I'm just like, right, this is what we're doing. And then they're like, oh, well, I don't feel really comfortable about that. You've got an open dialogue to have the discussions and develop and evolve things over time. I think that's what's got us the best results, me doing that. And then also, hospitality-wise, when I was in Cardiff on the way back up on Sunday, went to Manchester, went to the ID Asia.
Oh, yeah.
So we went another time with a couple and the service was awful. Yeah. Like, waited hours for food and drinks and didn't get anything. And they even offered us complimentary drinks. It took ages to come and all that kind of shit. And then I was like, oh, this is awful. It was quite expensive. And I was like, pfft. So then we went this time on the Sunday and the service was amazing. And they were saying, oh, what have you been up to today? Special occasion, asking about the half marathon, like if you want anything, that kind of thing. Yeah. And it just makes you have such a better experience. Just them little things that they don't really care, do they? They probably ask everybody else, but it's like them showing an interest because obviously like Sunday was a bigger day for me because I just didn't like travelling up and that kind of thing. And it does make a difference. And then if it is a bit more expensive, then you think, oh, well, it's worth it because you've had
I put something out, Adam, saying that honestly, and I was expecting a bit of a backlash off from this post, but I didn't get any. But maybe I could read a couple of things into there. Yeah. But the reality, in my opinion, is that unless you're dealing with top-end properties, 5-star or, Michelin, rated properties where people are paying for that level of service. There's a huge majority, I won't say the vast majority, that's unfair, but a huge majority of larger 3 and 4 star hotel brands, the customer is not the primary focus of their business.
Yeah. What is just the food?
It's profit.
Yeah.
It's profit. Yeah. It's just a business, and those customers are processed, not cared for. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, and I could give you an example of a spa member of a local hotel who's been a member there since the hotel opened in 1985, and she's in there 7 days a week, and she's never met. She's in there 7 days a week for a workout and a coffee, and she's never met the general manager.
In 4 years.
But
it's really
this current GM,
the current one, yeah.
Which to me is it's just scandalous.
Especially if it's a member for 4 years, you think, oh, but she's been here since we opened.
But there won't be many of them left.
No.
So therefore, I'd be thinking, do you know what? These people have been with the hotel as a customer since 1985. I need to be. You ring me, Leisure Club.
Yeah.
You ring me next time this person's in, because I want to come and say hello.
Yeah, and have a chat. Yeah. Just 2 minutes at a time.
So that when I say that the customer is not the primary, going back to purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all very well having these strap lines or mission statements or saying, you know, on your website, these are our core values, but they're not generally being lived in all these businesses. So when you go back to Will Guiadara when he's talking about people who really love to deliver service and want to interact with customers. It just, you know, when you're talking about the focus of your business, it's absolutely pivotal. I think it'd be interesting for you, you know, when you go to clients to ask that question.
What's your purpose?
What's your purpose? Just so that we know exactly where we're going with our videos and the way we promote your business. What's the purpose?
Yeah. No, it'd be interesting. I'll definitely do that next week on meetings, just then see what they say, because I'll probably put a lot on the spot and they'd be like, I don't know.
Well, because on.
And say like not money as well. Yeah. Because everyone's in business to make money, aren't they? But do you think with hospitality these days, it's a harder industry, so that's why everyone's just trying to focus on profit and not having any people or staff or
do you not think one drives the other? I think it's been flipped, Adam, if I'm being honest, because I think that exceptional service drives profit.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Rather than focusing on profit at the expense of service.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. I think it's probably doing that, isn't it? But I haven't really been to the hotel in Penrith much lately, but yeah, we went to food, me and Claudia, recently, and it was all right. There's a few old faces there, which is quite nice to see, but it's just weird coming back.
Well, and sometimes, Adam, it's you look back with rose-tinted glasses, and my first general manager position was the Crown Hotel at Wetherall.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of years there, and I loved it, and I still love it. And we had just some of the best fun times. It was in the days where there was a real focus on hospitality, real focus on the customers, less about reporting up and forecasting. And I think we've had this conversation before where, you know, the percentage of when I finished as a GM, the percentage of my time spent on figures and sales and marketing and managing up was so disproportionate. It was almost a complete flip around from when I started as a GM, when, you know, probably 75 to 80% of my time was looking after
you little boys like me.
Hunters. But yeah, something. So yeah, it is interesting. But again, you know, when we moved back to Cumbria, I took Sarah and the boys back to the Crown. And in a way, I kind of wished I hadn't, because it wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
And therefore,
I'd go back,
it was a bit, I came away and I was really a bit sad.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like good in a way, isn't it? Because you have good memories there, and you're just like, oh, it's not what it used to be, but you still got your happy memories, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's just it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like it's never as good when you go back, kind of thing. Never.
No, not at all.
It's a funny one. But yeah, I'll never forget when I used to work. You always used to go around, do like one or two laps a day of the hotel, and just like everyone used to be like, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, so walk around, make sure you like look busy or you tidy up and stuff like that. So funny. But you did spend a lot of time in the office, didn't you? Like say, probably just number crunching and stuff. It's just,
but you did. Yeah. So the first thing I did every day was to go around and check that your ship's in order.
Yeah, and you'd notice everything. It'd be like, why is this not there? Well, not like it's in order, but you'd be like, oh, why is it this? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You notice every little detail.
Yeah. You have to. You have to.
Yeah. It is funny.
And that was the thing, that was one of the things that for the assistant managers when they did handover at whatever time, 2:30, whatever time. Yeah. You do your handover while you're walking round every inch of the building.
Yeah, to make sure everything's in order.
Yeah.
But no, it's a funny one thinking back. That's so long ago now, isn't it? I think I was speaking about this the other day, actually. Tony from Next Decking. You know, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Tony. So he worked at the Crown with you, I think, briefly. And I was saying, when I went to the North Lakes, I was 19 and I had the interview with Stacey.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And then the rest is history. Funny. But I think hospitality is a great industry to learn in, isn't it, about people?
I think it gives you an unbelievable grounding in people skills, whether you're front or back of house.
Yeah, massively.
Whether you're dealing with your own internal customers, staff or paying customers. Yeah. And it is one of those, going back to what I was saying, if you don't love it, don't do it.
No.
And certainly...
It's hard work sometimes, doesn't it?
If you don't enjoy talking to people and making them happy and sending them away when they've just paid what is quite often a chunky bill with their own money, totally satisfied. If you don't get a buzz out of that, then go and do something else.
No, definitely. But yeah, what's the plans then for the coaching and stuff moving forward?
At the moment,
kind of like on the back burner now with new profiling.
No, I mean the coaching and the profiling go hand in hand, Adam. The consulting, I'll address jobs as it come along. So it's a bit like Armstrong Watson, getting a phone call. Can we build a bistro and new head office? Well, of course you can. Yeah. Can you come and sort out the issues at Farnham Hall? Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can. Could we do something at Tully House? Well, yeah, of course you can. Yeah. But and this again is going back to purpose, isn't it? That I would make more money doing more consulting projects than I do coaching. Yeah. But it's the coaching and the profiling that turns me on. And so therefore, quite naturally, my focus in terms of pushing it is towards coaching and profiling. That said, I do it in a very reluctant way. I'm the reluctant salesman. Yeah. So that's the crutch of things moving forward. And I'll keep chipping away. It's like coal mining. You'll find that seam, and then when you find a seam, you extract it until it dries up, and then you look for the next one.
Yeah. So with the coaching, then, what kind of people come to you to coach, and then where do you think you can add value to specific people? Is it mainly like business owners? Is it mainly employees or staff members? Or
it can be anybody. Yeah. It tends to be smaller. My client base at the moment tends to be smaller business owners who are just, I suppose, looking for reassurance that they're not ignoring their blind spots. So helping them find the blind spots. So, without giving you examples, one or two of the people that I work with. I suppose one of the challenges for me, Adam, is with larger companies, the more senior people are reluctant to accept that they might have any vulnerabilities. And that's a perfectly natural thing. And it's almost easy, isn't it? It's for me to say, or for you to say, nobody's perfect. Everybody's got vulnerabilities. Yeah. So But what they don't want to be seen to be doing is to be looking for external assistance, because that paints a picture of them being weak in some way, shape or form. Whereas the absolute flip side of this is that if you acknowledge that you're not an expert at everything and that there are blind spots, and sometimes because you're so focused, you don't see them, then that external perspective is a real benefit. Because I can sit down with people and go, have you thought about X? What stopped you looking at Y? You know, did this not occur to you? Is that an avenue not worth exploring? It's just those kind of questions.
Yeah.
And I've had that, I've had that conversation with people where, who challenges you? Oh, well, I've got a board. I've got a board of directors, and yeah. And they might say things to a certain extent, but there's politics in every company.
Yeah.
And there's a point at which they won't put their toe over the line because you're the boss.
Yeah.
So who in your organisation has got the balls to say how you might not want to hear it, but you recognise it?
Yeah.
And I find that a challenge. I'll be honest, just getting that across to people where you're saying, and I try to expand people's thinking in other ways. So it might be things like book recommendations or things that are going to expand their thinking in a way that might make them a bit more approachable in terms of saying, do you know what? A monthly session, Anthony, where I could just unpack with you when you ask me stuff that actually some of my team wouldn't be comfortable asking me would be a really good thing. What I have found interesting is that I get very little work from the hospitality industry in the Central Lakes.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Just because everyone knows everyone?
For the reasons that I've said, that there's an air of, I don't need any help.
Yeah.
But my response to that is, if you keep going down the same road, you'll always end up at the same destination, irrespective of what coat you wear.
Yeah. That's the Einstein quote, isn't it? Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, you're an idiot, basically. Something like that.
But it's absolutely true, because
change something.
And you might dress it up in a different way, but effectively all you're doing is saying, crikey, we've got an issue, and I'm gonna address it in the same way that I've always addressed it, but I'm gonna dress it up in a different way.
Yeah. It is difficult, because I think I definitely find criticism hard to take on board. I think I'm improving. It's helping me a lot. She challenges me a lot. And not taking things as personally. So like if it's business related and I think, oh, well, that's a go at me. I'm like, oh, well, it's just feedback, isn't it? And take it on board. It's constructive and then improving. And then I'm more productive because I don't let it get to me as much. I think I definitely got better the last few months. But I think it's similar as in like, say, because I'm the leader of the business at the moment, people won't challenge me as much as they probably should. And when they do, sometimes I may dismiss it, but I need to learn to get better at taking that on board, because they're only voicing it for a reason. And then if we can come to some kind of solution or happy medium or compromise, then hopefully they'll get better output from them, maybe happier with and that kind of thing. But I find it difficult at the moment because there's only so much time and energy I've got to give, and like say, being younger, I want to try and grow, and it's just like, it's more like full steam ahead, and then let's just go, get up and go. But I think, from the new year, hopefully getting a new team member involved, and that'll free up more time, my resource time, to help things be more structured and organised. And that.
So if I backtrack all of this, Adam, you want to grow, grow towards what? What's your purpose?
Well, I can't say money, can I?
We can't say money. Because your money,
like I say, my personal purpose is to be able to have enough and build the perfect life for my family. But the business is, like you say, is to provide the best service possible to get them the best results. Because honestly, I love nothing more than having a meeting with a client and then being like, oh my God, we've literally got X amount more sales, X amount more.
But it is. You could do nothing better, Adam, than sitting down with all your team, because you only got a small team, and saying, what's the driver behind everything we do? Okay. Yeah. And once you align that, you can then start putting the building blocks underneath it, and you can then start talking about, okay, well, if that's where we want to get to, what does success look like, and how do we measure it? What are the metrics? Yeah. How do we know that we've achieved that? Yeah. And will we ever achieve it? And because it could be an aspiration that is always going to be just that bit out of reach.
It always changes, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
And like goals, you achieve your goal and then you move the goalpost, don't you? And keep on going like that. And I was having a conversation with some more yesterday, and I was saying, like, as an agency, it's like, what do you want? Do you want more clients? And then that's a lot more workload, isn't it? If you're managing 20 clients, or would you have a smaller base of clients that you really enjoy working with, paying decent retainers and do it like that? And it's knowing that balance and what's happy medium. Because I'd love, say, personally, to do some of my own stuff as well on the side, hopefully soon, and focus on that. So it's having the balance, because managing lots and lots of clients is a lot of work and a lot of resources for that. But yeah,
there's another book you need to read, Adam. It's called that's the same author. A book called Built to Last, The Successful Habits of Visionary Companies. And it was co-authored by a guy called Jerry Porras and a guy called Jim Collins. Jim Collins then went on to write a book called Good to Great. So how you take good companies and you make them great companies. And they're both fantastic books. Yeah. But Built to Last was the book. Ian Hartness, the original managing director of Shire Hotels, went to America to a conference with Jerry Porras and Jim Collins, and he came back with, and we all got a copy of this book, and then we went through a process of establishing the company's core values. But it was a fabulous process. However, there are things in there when you talk about companies evolving and the purpose of evolving. So if I were to say to you, what is 3M, the company 3M, synonymous with?
What's 3M?
3M. Oh, come on, Adam.
I don't know, what is it?
3M, Post-it notes.
What, so 3 key core values?
No. What?
I'm making myself look stupid here.
Oh, Christ. We've gone complete. So the company is 3M. Okay. Yeah. And you associate with 3M with sticky stuff. Okay. Post-it notes, sellotape.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of 3M ever.
You must have done.
Genuinely never.
You probably never use them in your word line in work. So the example here, Adam, is 3M. Now that I've explained who they were, okay. Was actually Minnesota Mining and Minerals. They were a mining company.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of their employees, the mining company, invented the Post-it note.
Oh,
right.
Okay, yeah.
And what did they end up? So they're making billions of pounds out of making sticky notes, not mining minerals.
That's good, though, isn't it? We got there eventually, didn't we?
We got there eventually.
Did you know CJG Media stands for Chris, Janet, Adam, Joe? My family. Yeah. Not many people know that.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, every day's a school day. At least you know what 3M stands for now, Adam.
But no, I think it's one of them things for me. Like January was a big milestone for me in the business, because it was like that registered, and that's all I wanted to do. When I first started up, however many years ago, like 4 years ago, before I started all my businesses and events and stuff. And then this year's been a real big growth year, personally and business-wise. And then like from 2025, it's going to be, like you say, built to last. So like building a business that is there to last, because at the moment is great because it's a good lifestyle business and we can provide a lot of service and stuff, but it's like, how do we establish it as a proper business that can sustain stuff and not have me needing, like we were speaking before, like me having to be in there every single day, even though it will be for the next year or two and that kind of thing. But putting building blocks in place to know that, right, yeah, that's the first piece of the jigsaw, that's the second piece, that's the third piece. And then they say, right, that is the machine. And then I can say, like, manage the machine and then focus on other stuff as well. But yeah, it's an exciting time. You just need
absolutely.
to keep going.
If the purpose of CJAJ is that you develop that business to a point where, hey, somebody wants to buy it, but you can walk away and it manages itself. Do you want a business that's got longevity, or that when at 45 you fold it all up because you're not interested in it anymore? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it something that you really want to put down those building blocks to ensure that it'll be around in 50, 70, 100 years time? You just don't know.
No, I don't think it'll be around that long.
But you don't know.
No, you don't. You don't know.
No.
I just think marketing's such like a useful tool for businesses. Yeah. And we've got a good product that is lots of businesses are able to utilize. So having that to be able to implement into my own personal ventures, other businesses, is such a asset, I think. So making that.
If you believe, Adam, that you've got a unique selling point to your business, it makes you stand out from everybody else, and that's why people are going to buy. Then that to me says longevity. So therefore, why would you not develop your business into something that somebody else would want to take on if you were to put it on the market?
Yeah, true. Because I know confidently that nobody else in the UK that I know of and came across can come up with the plans, shoot the content, edit the content, post and produce the content, and get the results we do at the speed we can do it. A lot of people do it like, say, one-man band stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll like come down, do the videos and that kind of thing, but they're not as efficient, you know what I mean? And I feel like, from what I've seen in the social media space, it's speed. You need to be fast, otherwise you will get left behind. And at the price point as well, it's so affordable compared to other people. Obviously, you get people who are cheaper, but they're shit.
You should never be ashamed of your price.
Exactly. You get what you pay for, don't you, really? So, yeah, it's one of them things, but we'll wait and see. Probably in 6 months' time.
What was that other thing I saw? There's a couple of groups that I'm part of on LinkedIn, and there was a statement that said, you're not paying me for the 30 minutes that it's taken me to do X. You're paying me for the 30 years that have allowed me to do it in 30 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. You're giving them the shortcut.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what I always think for the stuff that we do. It's like, you're not just paying for that video post, isn't it? You're paying for everything that comes beforehand of like the expertise of me, Yoni, Zishan, and then you're paying for the plan, the shoot, the editing, the posting, the results, everything.
Mm.
So yeah, that's invaluable, I think, to most businesses. And when you say about taking things personally, I used to take things personally when people didn't want to work with me, but I think like, oh, you're missing out now. So it's your problem, you know what I mean? So
it's again, and I say it till I'm blue in the face. If you can't influence it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You move on.
Yeah, I get like messages honestly every day now of people like wanting to work with us, and I got one this morning. You know what I mean? Just saying like, hey, hope you're well. Sure, I want to do this. Let me know the cost and that kind of thing. And it's just like, yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's next for you anyway? What can people expect? Or where can people find you or get in contact? What are you wanting to push and be salesy about?
I'm always happy to have a conversation about how I can add value to what you do. So the long and short of it is, the consultancy side of things is one thing. I've got a wealth of experience in hotels and food and beverage and hospitality. That's fine. But the coaching and the psychometric profiling is this thing that I'm really wanting to drive forward. And that's what's starting to snowball for me. So, the next few months are really exciting because I've got some decent workshops coming up with some big local companies, and hopefully that word of mouth will start to ripple out. But I don't know how you feel, Adam, but I do I do attend local networking events, and
They go really well for you, though, don't they? Oh, maybe so.
It's like any of these things. You the benefit of attending those could be 6, 9, 12 months down the line. I see an awful lot of people and will spend most of their working week at networking events, and really and truly I question what they do for
out of the office.
Because they're not in the office. They're not actually generating anything. So there's a balance.
Yeah, no, definitely.
There's a balance to be had.
That's why I like social media, is just because you can blast out 50 messages a day.
Yeah.
And you're not wasting any time, really. Well, I've got my heart to do it for me, but you're not wasting any time. You just think, oh, well, if something comes from it, great. If it doesn't, then I'm with.
Yeah.
It's just, for me.
What I do find locally is that, you'll go to things like car ambassadors, for example, and it's the same people.
Yeah.
It's the same people every
If
time.
they've done business with you, they've done business with you by now, haven't they? Yeah.
Absolutely. But if you don't go and you're not visible, then you could be missing tricks. So
yeah. Where can people find you and follow you, get in contact then?
And the website is www.awpconsultancy.co.uk. You can find me on LinkedIn, Antony Penny. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook, and it's at AWP Consultancy.
Nice.
But if my email address is on my LinkedIn profile, it's public, so
that's good.
Probably the easiest way, along with my website, which has got a contact form.
Yeah, contact form. That's fun. Yeah.
Hey,
you know it.
On the money.
Right. Well, thank you for coming back on. I appreciate it. It's always a
You're
good.
very welcome.
Yeah. So everyone, if you watch on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe, comment your favorite part. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, make sure to follow the podcast and leave a 5-star review. And we'll see you next time. Bye.